Thank you, Tim. Okay, so I was working at my dining room table today. I injured my foot. I'm working at home. And I saw the emails and I thought, you know, I could have a topic for a story on beginnings, but I came in tonight and I said, just in an emergency. Apparently it's an emergency. I'm here.
Two stories.
Don't interrupt what's not going on. So the typical beginnings is childbirth or new romances, and I'm not going to tell you my childbirth stories because they are particularly icky. So we're going to go with the new romance. Back in 1988, I was somewhat freshly divorced young lady, and I had taken a new job, a new beginning, a new start, and I was going to be a civil servant for the British government. Very boring, except it was on an American airbase with 6,000 men in uniform. So I met a young man. Well, actually what I did first was flirt with a million of them, and then meet a young man that I thought might have potential. So we went out on our first date, and I was very impressed when he told me we were going to Wembley in London to see Foreigner in concert. I'm like, my kind of date. And we drove in his car, and because it's pretty complicated when you're getting into London, I volunteered to drive, and he said, oh no. You know, typical male thing, no dear, you can't drive my car, it's fine. So we were quite late for the concert, having driven all over the place, but the main band hadn't started yet, and when we took our seats I realised that the tickets in a certain block had all been sold to young airmen at the airbase, and they had all been there for quite a few hours before us, so they were having a good time. And my date's friends were sitting behind us, and Julie tipped a whole pint of beer down the back of my nice new white sweater. That was very nice. So I missed a little bit of the concert while I walked around, you know, to dry myself out, find a way to sort this out. And while I was walking, I found a big wad of money, actually, in a little plastic bag. It was like 240 pounds. I was like, wow. But I felt bad because I thought it was probably one of the vendors. You know, those poor guys that've got no money to start with, and they're trying to make some money. So I handed it in, and that took a little bit more of the concert. By the time I got back to my seat, the two young airmen from behind us had left, or probably been ejected, to be honest, but still they were gone, so I was dry for the rest of the night. It was good. And I caught the last half of Foreigner. It was very romantic, and the date was going very well. And when we, actually, my date was telling me quite a number of times how he would never get drunk, he would never act like that, he was apologising for his countrymen. and when we drove home, he said, well, no, maybe because we got so lost coming in, you can drive. Should have been a hint there, right? You can drive home. That kind of date, you know. So I handed him the map book, which was quite essential since we were in the, you know, streets of Wembley, and we began driving, and driving, and driving, and driving. And he's like, I think you need to go this way or this way. I said, look, all we need to do is get to the North Circular, around to the M11, we'll be good. You know, here's the map, here's London, we're kind of on this side, we need to be on that side, trying to get me to a main road. And we're driving, and it's like, okay, this is not really funny anymore. So I pulled over, and I said, maybe you should let me look at the map book. So I took the map book off him, and I just caught that, like, glimpse in his eye, you know, that look when you go, oh God, boyfriend's hammered. Never mind the story about I wouldn't drink like my fellow countrymen, and I'm a gentleman, and all the rest of it. And I look at the map book, and yes, it's upside down. The moral of the story is, these days I can drive from Malaga in Spain to my mom's at Torrevieja, 4 hours away, in a rental car, never been in the country before, without a map because I left it behind. My MapQuest was in my luggage. I don't care anymore, I can get anywhere and do anything. After 11 years of marriage and 2 sons, I would often look back and smile and think how cute that all was. But if you could do the math, 11 and 1988 don't add up to 2014. So after 16 years of divorce, I often look back and go, sister, you should have seen the red flags.